In the middle of the New Mexico desert, three scientists Jane Foster, Eric Selvig, and Darcy Lewis are on a mission to uncover the secrets of the cosmos. They're following Jane's groundbreaking theory on Einstein-Rosen bridges, or wormholes. The night takes a dramatic turn when they spot a strange, swirling lightning storm in the distance. Jane insists they drive toward it, believing it's the event she's been waiting for. As they approach, the storm grows violent, and out of nowhere, a man appears in its center. Their van collides with him, and they screech to a halt. The man is muscular, blonde-haired, and semi-conscious. Darcy panics, Eric is skeptical, and Jane can't help but feel drawn to this mysterious figure. They pull him into the van, unaware that this moment is the start of a cosmic journey involving gods, betrayal, and redemption. The story shifts to the distant past, where a colossal battle rages on Earth in 965 AD. Frost giants, led by the fearsome King Laufey, descend upon Norway, wielding the Tesseract's limitless power. Their goal, to turn Earth into a frozen wasteland. Humanity seems doomed until the Asgardians, led by King Odin, arrive to defend the realm. Asgardian warriors clash with frost giants in a brutal fight. Ice collides with gold, and the ground shakes under the weight of their battle. The Asgardians eventually force the frost giants to retreat to their icy homeworld, Jotunheim. To ensure peace, Odin seizes the frost giants' ultimate weapon, the Casket of Ancient Winters, and takes it back to Asgard. The Earth is safe for now. In Asgard, young Thor and Loki listen as Odin recounts the tale of the frost giants' defeat. Thor, brimming with energy, dreams of battle and glory, while Loki, more reserved, listens with quiet curiosity. Odin tells them both they have the potential to rule, but cautions that a wise king never seeks war but must always be prepared for it. Years later, Thor is a celebrated warrior, adored by the people of Asgard. The city is alive with excitement as Thor prepares to be crowned crown prince. His friends Sif, Volstagg, Fandral, and Hogun stand proudly by his side, but Loki lingers in the background, his smile masking his envy. Just as Odin begins the ceremony, an alert interrupts the celebration. Frost giants have infiltrated Asgard's vaults, attempting to reclaim the casket. The destroyer, Asgard's deadly automaton, springs into action, obliterating the intruders. The attack leaves Thor furious and itching for revenge. Thor, defying Odin's orders, gathers Loki and their friends for a dangerous mission to Jotunheim. Heimdall, the all-seeing guardian of the Bifrost Bridge, reluctantly grants them passage, curious about how the frost giants breached Asgard's defenses. Once on Jotunheim, the group is confronted by King Laufey. Thor's arrogance and thirst for battle provoke Laufey, and a fight ensues. Loki discovers something unsettling. When touched by a frost giant, his skin turns blue, resembling their icy hue. As the battle escalates, a monstrous beast is unleashed, forcing the group to flee. Odin intervenes just in time, saving them but leaving Laufey seething. Odin is furious with Thor for his reckless actions. Stripping him of his powers, Odin banishes Thor to Earth. He casts Mjolnir, Thor's enchanted hammer, after him, with a spell that only the worthy can lift it. Thor lands in the desert, where Jane and her team discover him. Meanwhile, Mjolnir crashes nearby, creating a massive crater. Jane, Darcy, and Eric are baffled by Thor's behavior. He claims to be a god, but to them, he's just an aggressive, shirtless man in need of help. Darcy tasers him when he lashes out, and they take him to the hospital. Thor quickly escapes, only to be found again by Jane, who is both curious and exasperated. Mjolnir's arrival draws the attention of S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Coulson secures the site, turning it into a heavily guarded facility. Jane's research, including her data on the wormhole, is confiscated. Thor infiltrates the facility, but his attempt to retrieve Mjolnir ends in heartbreak when he cannot lift it. Stripped of his power and identity, Thor begins to reflect on his actions. Back in Asgard, Loki uncovers a devastating truth. He is Laufey's son, taken from Jotunheim as an infant and raised by Odin. Confronting Odin, Loki's anger triggers the king's collapse into the deep restorative state known as the Odin sleep. Loki seizes the throne, claiming to act in Odin's stead. Loki secretly meets with Laufey, offering him a chance to kill Odin and reclaim the casket. Laufey agrees, not knowing Loki has his own plans. As Loki takes his seat as acting king of Asgard, his machinations unfold on Earth. He sends the Destroyer, an enormous automaton forged from enchanted metal, to eliminate Thor and assert his power. The creature arrives in the New Mexico desert with a towering presence, its metallic body gleaming under the scorching sun. At first, locals mistake it for a strange government machine, but when it begins to unleash devastating heat rays, panic ensues. Buildings crumble, cars explode, and the town is thrown into chaos. Thor, still stripped of his powers, steps up as a leader. He works alongside Jane, Eric, and Darcy to help evacuate civilians, directing them to safety while putting himself in harm's way. Despite being powerless, Thor faces the destroyer with bravery, his voice ringing out as he begs Loki, who is observing through the automaton, to spare the humans and take his life instead. Thor's heartfelt plea to Loki is a pivotal moment. He stands before the destroyer, vulnerable but unyielding, and accepts his fate with honor. The automaton pauses for a moment as if considering his offer, then strikes with a brutal blow, sending Thor flying across the desert. Jane rushes to his lifeless body, tears streaming as she cradles him in her arms. The scene is heavy with grief, but just as all hope seems lost, the sky changes. Mjolnir, Thor's enchanted hammer, begins to stir. Recognizing Thor's newfound worthiness, the hammer soars through the air, breaking free from its government containment. It lands in Thor's hand, unleashing a surge of energy that revives him. With lightning crackling around him, Thor rises, now fully restored as the god of thunder, and he confidently steps forward to confront the destroyer. After easily dismantling the destroyer with a series of thunderous strikes, Thor promises Jane he will return to her and prepares to head back to Asgard. Meanwhile, in Asgard, the Frost Giants, led by Laufey, infiltrate the palace, passing Heimdall, who has been frozen in ice by Loki's earlier betrayal. They make their way to Odin's bedchamber, where Laufey prepares to kill the All-Father as he lies in his Odin sleep. At the last moment, Loki reveals his true plan. He kills Laufey, claiming to have saved Odin and Asgard from destruction. He activates the Bifrost Bridge and sets it to destroy Jotunheim entirely, aiming to wipe out the Frost Giants and solidify his place as Asgard's savior. The energy surging through the bridge begins to tear Jotunheim apart, causing massive destruction on the icy realm. Thor arrives just in time to confront his brother. The two engage in an intense battle atop the Bifrost, their powers clashing in a spectacular display of lightning and magic. Thor tries to reason with Loki, but his brother's jealousy and thirst for recognition push him further into darkness. Realizing he cannot stop Loki through combat alone, Thor makes a heart-wrenching decision. Using Mjolnir, he destroys the Bifrost Bridge, severing the connection between Asgard and the other realms. The bridge shatters in a blinding explosion, sending both Thor and Loki tumbling into the void. At the last moment, Odin awakens and catches Thor, who clings desperately to Loki's staff. Loki, seeing the disappointment in Odin's eyes, lets go and falls into the abyss, his face a mix of resignation and sorrow. Thor is devastated, but he knows it was the only way to save the realms. Back in Asgard, the kingdom mourns its losses. Odin, though alive, is deeply saddened by Loki's fall and the events that have transpired. Frigga comforts him, but even her words cannot erase the pain. Thor, now wiser and more humble, speaks to his father about his readiness or lack thereof to rule. He admits that he has much to learn before he can be a worthy king. Odin, despite his grief, expresses pride in Thor's growth. The scene is bittersweet, showing both the cost of leadership and the promise of a better future. On Earth, Jane throws herself into her research, determined to find a way to reconnect with Thor. With new equipment provided by S.H.I.E.L.D., she works tirelessly, driven by hope and her growing feelings for the god she barely knows. Meanwhile, a post-credits scene reveals Dr. Selvig being escorted to a secret S.H.I.E.L.D. facility. Nick Fury presents him with a mysterious, glowing cube, the Tesseract, and asks him to study it, suggesting it holds untold power. As Selvig agrees, the camera pans to a reflective surface, revealing Loki, who whispers slyly, "Let's begin."